Well, going back to the top story that we've been tracking about the Uri terror attack and what's happening after that as far as the investigations are concerned. To talk more about that, I have with me Mr. A.S. Daulat. He is the former chief of the Research and Analysis Wing, also the former special director of India's Intelligence Bureau. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to WION. Let me start by asking you that Pakistan itself has established, is known as a country which is a geopolitical bully now. And India is being pressurized to take action against Pakistan after the terror attack that killed 18 Indian soldiers recently. But give us a sense of what, according to you, should be India's right response at this particular point in time.
I think the Indian response has been fine, perfect. The Prime Minister said at the outset that this kind of thing can't go unpunished. And then he said we will diplomatically isolate Pakistan. We've been down that road before. So if it is coercive diplomacy that we are banking on, then it's fine. This was used during or after Kargil, after the attack on Parliament, after the attack at the army camp in Kaluchak, after Mumbai. Every time there's been a serious attack, we've got into, aggressive, coercive diplomacy. And it has paid dividends in the past, so it should pay dividends again. There's no reason for it not to. Already we just heard Secretary of State John Kerry's remark that Pakistan should not allow its territory to be used for training of terrorists. So I think as far as that goes, it's fine.
Right. Also,
as for the other options, government has to think it out coolly, calmly, not a knee-jerk reaction, not in a half.
Point taken, Mr. Daulat. Also, what would you say to the fact that now, after Nawaz Sharif raises the issue of Kashmir at the United Nations General Assembly tomorrow, then India too is set to forcefully pitch for what happened at the Uri terror attacks, talk against Pakistan, and say that whatever was done in Uri was the handiwork of certain elements that came out from Pakistan. You think that is also perhaps one move in the right direction? And India already is getting support from so many international quarters across the world.
Yeah, that's great. I think it's the obvious response, although the rhetoric is becoming very high-pitched, and beyond the point, it becomes, counterproductive. You say, I say, you say, and, there's too much of tutu meh. But at this point of time, it will be said in the UNGA, and it's the right response.
Right. Also,
because we do expect Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif to raise Kashmir in the UNGA.
Absolutely. Also, Mr. Daulat, now what's being said in Pakistani media, of course, is that Indian media is crafty. The political and security establishment is notorious for coming up with designing these bizarre operations. And what happened in Uri is the handiwork of the Indian establishment, because they're saying, where is the actionable intelligence? And India has none whatsoever at this point in time.
This is an old story, we never have actionable intelligence, but we have intelligence. And we do provide evidence. But Pakistan's usual response is that it won't stand in a court of law. Yeah, there are lots of things that don't stand in a court of law, but if we are giving you evidence, if we are telling you what has happened where, you need to take action. I mean, the problem between India and Pakistan, as I see it, is that sometimes we are negotiating or talking or engaging, and then suddenly it stops. When you stop engaging, then all this becomes that much more difficult. And I think we should never stop engaging.
Right. So that's your important point that you're making, that India and Pakistan should never stop engaging. But for how long will Pakistan continue with its double game? It's going to again claim that it's a victim, itself of terrorism at the UN as well. How can India give a response a befitting response, so to speak? Should it be a combination of diplomatic measures coupled with other measures?
You see this this double game that you're talking of, the world knows about. The Americans know about it also. It's not that, this is some great Einstein theory or something. Everybody knows about it. But the Americans have not stopped talking to Pakistan, have they? Neither have the Chinese, nor have the Russians. So, and for us, I mean, as a neighbor and a troublesome neighbor, we need to keep it engaged, unless we have some way of blowing up Pakistan. And I mean, this has been considered in the past that war is not really a realistic option. So if that be so, then what other option do you have but to talk?
Right. Also, it seems extremely difficult, as other experts have been suggesting, that to economically sanction Pakistan to make sure that it's cut off from all the countries. But that doesn't seem to be happening because, as you correctly pointed out, the US is behind Pakistan, China as well.
Everybody, everybody does and says what is in their own national interest. To the extent that it suits the United States, they will support us. To the extent that it suits China or Russia, they will support us. But nobody is going to stick their neck out, especially for us,
So the onus, Mr. Dulat, then lies on India and India
At the end of the day, you got... Absolutely, absolutely. You have to take a call, and that's why I say that if you are engaging and you are talking, then you have that option of asking a few candid questions. But if you are not even talking, then all that you are doing is shouting at each other. This rhetoric, high-pitched rhetoric.
Right.
And it doesn't cut ice anywhere in the world beyond the point.
Right, Mr. Dulat. Now, you're saying talks are the only way forward, but we've seen in so many cases in the past that whenever India and Pakistan seem to be getting to that point of engaging, something untoward happens because of which these talks have to be called off. There is tension again and things go back to where they started. So how is that possible in such a scenario?
Yeah. It does happen and it doesn't happen. There have been some very good periods as well. Between, let's say, between 2002 and 2007 or 8, that was a good period when we were engaging, both during Prime Minister Vajpayee's time and Dr. Manmohan Singh's time. And there was a lot of forward movement then. And even Modi ji and Mia Saab started off very well. In fact, Prime Minister Modi surprised everybody by going to Lahore last Christmas.
Right.
So why was this called off? One of the reasons, of course, is that Mia Saab himself has been compromised and vulnerable after the Panama Papers exposures. His position in Pakistan has been weakened.
Right.
But I think we need to take that into consideration. I think we need to understand his vulnerability.
So according to you, Mr. Dulat, diplomatically, the way that India has chosen now is absolutely correct. It should continue on that same path and try and engage with Pakistan. Is that what you're saying? Thank you so much, sir, for joining us this evening and sharing your thoughts with our viewers here. Thanks once again. We continue to get our viewers more news and updates. But